Hello, welcome back. This is Professor Khan, and this week is week 3, and we will be wiring two-zone hydronic heating system. After week 1 and week 2, week 1 we wired the primary control, week 2 we connected the primary control to an aquastat, and this time we will add a switching relay so we can connect two zones into a hot water system, which is a very common thing. You can have two zones, one for first floor, second floor, and also you can do one for hot water system and one for just heating. So let's move on. So this is the goals. Primary control, which is cat control. We'll connect that with the aquastat, and that will connect to the motor and ignition and valve. And that's again same as the CAD to go to the aquastat. So it's not the CAD by itself, it's the CAD controlled by the aquastat. We'll add a switching relay, so we will have two zones, meaning we will have two thermostats. Again, two thermostat. T, we'll have two of them. And we will follow the sequence of operation. What will happen to those two zones as they come up alive and get satisfied? What if one gets satisfied before the other? What will happen? There's always a priority where we can distinguish that. Okay, moving on. Is this even recording? Yeah, it is recording. Okay, sorry about that. So this is the objectives. Again, we'll wire a hot water system on the board with two zones. This is the reference. If you have the Weinberger oil burner technician book or wall burner heat, residential oil heat, probably this is going to be chapter 14. We will watch the limit controls, high and low, and those are going to be set on the aquastat. And we will watch for the diaphragm switch in the bulb, and that is where you have the high and low connected to the aquastat. I will show you what that look like. And the primary control, which we already connected twice, and that is the CAD cell control. Again, they are used interchangeably. The term, it's either called CAD or primary control, and it controls the oil burner. Okay. So the aquastat control, it controls the operation of the oil burner. How so? The aquastat now controls the CAD cell, and the CAD cell control, which is the primary, controls the burner. So the aquastat does not control directly the oil burner. It controls the CAD, and the CAD cell control the burner. I'm going to use the CAD controller as the primary controller interchangeably, so you will hear that as we go along. And the aquastat will monitor the zone temperature through the thermostat, and it will turn on and off the circulation pump. So the circulator pump will be turned by the aquastat, but that's only one circulator pump. If you want to add, if you have a switching relay, the switching relay that we will add will have its own thermostat and its own circulation pump. We have adjustable high and low limit. That's where we keep the water temperature between the high limit and the low limit. And sometimes we have a differential, which is the temperature below the low limit. So the hazards involved is we'll be working with 110 volts coming to the aquastat, so make sure that everything is connected soundly to the aquastat and the primary. There's 110, which is a little bit significant if you touch it. There is a possibility of explosion of the bulb if you heat it using a torch, so do not do that. I know it's a common practice, but do not do that. And that's in the old mechanical one. The new ones have actually thermocouple, so you cannot heat that even with a torch. You need to use hot water. Okay, so this is the bulb. If you have the mechanical bulb, which is the little copper looking like bulb with liquid in it, and there's a line, this is how you twist the line, the excess line. Make sure you do not kink it. If you kink it, then you will not allow the fluid or the liquid to go inside and push on the diaphragm and adjust the temperature. Again, another tip for when you put this little bulb inside the the holster where it's supposed to be inside the tank. Make sure it's touching properly, and there is a special compound that's provided with it that makes sure this whole thing is filled with the compound, so you'll have the right amount of connection, of heat connection between the bulb, so it will give you the right reading. So this is the old mechanical bulb, aquastat, and the bulb goes from here. That's what you just saw. This is the high and low limit line. Voltage goes in here, and the thermostat connect to this part, and it's mechanical because the relay here is mechanical. And remember this ZC and ZR, those go into the new now relay switch. B1 goes to the CAD power or red, B2 is neutral, C1 go to the circulator, and C2 also go to the circulator. This is power and this is neutral. The new aquastat is digital. There is no moving part, there is no mechanical relay. These are the relays here, and if you look at the connection, they're all put in line here. And we have here this is the ZR and ZC, same as before. Actually, this is line voltage and this is ZR. This is line 2, it's neutral. C2 is neutral, B2 is neutral. C1 is hot, that's why it says line voltage here, and B1 is hot. And this is 2C, I think it's for the second circulator. We're not going to use that one. So C1 will go to the circulator and B1 will go to the CAD control or the primary control. The thermostat will connect in here, and this is your bulb connection, and here we have a thermocouple, so there's no longer the bulb, and it's all digital. So these are the new ones. Probably if you not buy a new aquastat, it's going to be completely digital and less mechanical. This is the old relay. Again, it's mechanical, and there's a 1 and 2. This is 1 is hot, 2 is neutral. These here will connect to the aquastat, and 2 will connect. Well, I'll show you the connection, but here is the thermostat, and we have a transformer here to operate the thermostat, and this here will connect between the thermostat and the relay to connect between the pump. So this will control the additional pump to circulate hot water when needed. This is the new one. It's the Teco relay, and this is the Honeywell relay. Again, the same connections. These are the thermostat, red and white, TT. As you see, they have changed. They have colors now, and we have common here, and L1 and L2, and the X1 and X2 will go to the pump. And usually you will see the connection of the wiring behind in the back of this cover if you want to connect using the new relay by Honeywell. This is the connection for some of the relays. Let's not worry about that. This is different kind of relay and different connection. So this is what we are going to use to connect our relay. This here is your aquastat, and you see all the terminals in it. C1 and C2 go to a pump, and this is our CAD control, or the primary control, and this is going to be our switching relay. If you notice here, TT will go to the thermostat, 1 and 2. Follow these lines. This is the hot line, this is the neutral line. The dot means connection. So 1 is going to connect to ZC, 2 will connect to the neutral, and 3 will connect to the hot, and 5 will connect to the hot as well. 4 and 6, 4 is going to be ZR, and 6 is going to be hot for the pump. So the pump is going to be between 2 and 6. One is hot, one is neutral. When the thermostat calls for heat, this will check the temperature by the ZR and ZC, then turn on the circulator. If you want to add more relays and more zones, you can add another switching relay, and again they connect in the same way. So you can have up to 3 zones using this configuration. You just keep adding relays and thermostats, relay, and pump. If you notice, if you have more than 2 zones, it's going to be more beneficial for you to buy a switching board with 4 zones, also made by Teco. Okay, so this is going to be the practice where we have two zones. Okay, multi zones, you're gonna add, again, this is 3 of them here. you keep adding, but after a while you feel it's going to be a little bit more efficient if you have a control board. This is the current board that you're going to connect in the shop. Our line voltage coming in here. These are the light bulbs that supposed to be the one for the motor, one for the valve, and this is going to connect to the primary control over here. And this is my aquastat, and this is the switching relay as here. And we have two thermostat 1, thermostat 2. One of them will connect to the thermostat over here, and one of them will connect to the thermostat over here. So, and this B1 will connect to the primary. We have a red wire over here, and the hot line here will connect to the line voltage. Neutral will connect to the neutral as well, and C1 and C1, we'll use those two as circulators, circulator 1 and circulator 2. So we'll put a light bulb, and one of them will go to C1 over here, and C2 will come to here, and so on. I don't want to get that really messy, but again, this is your relay switch. You'll see how it connects once you start connecting it. You might be overwhelmed with the amount of neutral wires available, so this connector or hub over there is to connect all the neutrals together. So if you see they connect vertically, and each line is neutral. You see why the loop is here, because it's a neutral jumping from one to another. So you can connect one neutral here, and all of them are going to be neutral, so you can plug all the neutrals back into it. This here is the Teco switchboard, which we'll use in a week or so, which is substitute 3 or 4 of these little connections. And we did not cover this part yet, but so far we will connect the primary control and switching relay, aquastat, 2 thermostat, and this board going to be next week. Make sure before you connect that you have all the equipment in the board before you start connecting and plugging things in. It should be fun, and if you notice here I put like quick links for all those light bulbs, so it will be easier to connect to the light bulb instead of going to the screw and connecting to it. So these are glued in place, so please make sure you do not unglue them, just to make things easier to use those quick connections. Alright, see you in the labs, and please watch this video and the other video before you come to the labs to make things a little easier to go and do the connection. Thank you, and see you soon.